Q215. Highlight the significance of industrial clusters for India. Identify the prominent industrial clusters within the country and describe their main characteristics. 15 marks, 250 words. Core demand of question provide the significance of industrial clusters for India, shed light upon the prominent industrial clusters within the country along with their main characteristics. ANS. An industrial cluster is a geographic concentration of interconnected companies, suppliers, and supporting institutions within a specific industry or sector, facilitating collaboration, knowledge exchange, and shared resources to enhance the competitiveness and innovation of the businesses involved. Examples include Auto Tech Cluster in Chennai and Pune and High Tech Metal Cluster in Mohali. They hold immense significance by shaping the economic topography of India. Significance of industrial clusters for India. Enhance productivity. Industrial clusters promote economies of scale and scope, enabling companies to access specialized skills, technologies, and resources. This leads to increased productivity and efficiency. For example, Bengaluru's IT cluster. Reduced costs. Clusters benefit from shared infrastructure, logistics, and supply chains, which can lead to cost reduction. For example, the automotive cluster in Chennai, known as the Detroit of India, benefits from a well-established supply chain network, reducing production costs for automakers. Skilled workforce. Clusters attract a pool of skilled workers and professionals with expertise in the specific industry, creating a competitive labor market. For example, Hyderabad's IT cluster. Access to markets. Proximity to customers and suppliers within a cluster simplifies market access and distribution networks. For example, the textile cluster in Tirupur has easy access to domestic and international markets, making it a major exporter of textiles and garments. Global competitiveness. Concentrations of industries in clusters can enhance a region's global competitiveness by fostering specialization and expertise in that industry. For example, the diamond polishing and trading cluster in Surat, Gujarat, accounts for 90% of the world's diamond processing, contributing to India's global leadership in the diamond industry. Knowledge spillovers. Clusters facilitate knowledge spillovers, where innovations and best practices spread quickly among businesses. This fosters a culture of continuous improvement. For example, ITC Food Park in Kapurthala. Sustainability and environment. Clusters can focus on sustainable practices and environmental protection. For example, the textile and apparel cluster in Coimbatore is known for adopting eco-friendly production processes, contributing to a more sustainable textile industry. Industrial clusters in India and their characteristics. Tirupur Textiles Cluster. Characteristics. Tirupur boasts over 54.2% FY22 of India's knitwear-based apparel product exports. The apparel industry in Tirupur is primarily composed of MSMEs, constituting 95% of the sector. Around 10,000 units in Tirupur employ approximately 6 lakh workers directly, with 65% being semi-literate rural women. The cluster's consistent growth is fostered by robust infrastructure, local entrepreneurial skills, leadership, and favorable state government policies. Bengaluru Science and Technology Cluster. Best characteristics. The identified sectors for focus are information technology, health and wellness, urban life, and futuristic technologies. Teams have been formed to focus on diverse areas such as One Health, digital health, precision agriculture, urban transportation, monsoon and climate change, quantum technologies, active matter and robotics, and jet engine development. A Section 8 company is being established to foster collaboration among more than 50 organizations, including academic institutions, industry partners, civil society, and government bodies. This independent entity will offer organizational support and oversee resource management. Hyderabad Pharma City. HPC characteristics. It is the world's largest integrated cluster for pharmaceutical industries. Focuses on research and development and manufacturing. It has been recognized as a National Investment and Manufacturing Zone, NGMZ, by the Government of India. ITC Food Park Kapurthala. Characteristics. First mega food park of Punjab. Spans over 72 acres of land. At the ITC Food Park, a wide array of popular brands, including Ashirvad, Bingo, Yippee, Be Natural, and Sunfeast, are manufactured to meet consumer demands. Electronics manufacturing clusters. Greater Noida. Characteristics. An SBV special purpose vehicle has been established for the purpose of overseeing the development, operation, and maintenance of a new electronic manufacturing cluster with no prior industrial infrastructure. The cluster offers a streamlined process with single window clearance, facilitating ease of doing business for enterprises operating within it. Industrial clusters serve as pivotal catalysts for India's economic growth and its drive towards global competitiveness. Given India's ambitious goal of achieving a $5 trillion economy by 2025, it is imperative to prioritize the nurturing and sustenance of these clusters through strategic investments, robust policy support, and a relentless commitment to fostering innovation. Extra edge, resilience. Diverse industrial clusters can contribute to economic resilience by distributing risk across different industries. This can help regions withstand economic shocks and challenges. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, pharmaceutical clusters across India, including in Hyderabad and Pune, played a crucial role in manufacturing and supplying essential medicines and vaccines, contributing to the nation's resilience during a global crisis. Innovation hubs. Clusters foster innovation and knowledge sharing by bringing together companies, research institutions, and skilled workers. The pharmaceutical cluster in Hyderabad, often referred to as Genome Valley, has attracted numerous pharmaceutical companies, research institutions, and biotech startups, driving innovation in the sector. Policy support. Government policies often target industrial clusters for infrastructure development, skill enhancement, and other incentives to boost economic growth. For instance, the electronics manufacturing cluster in Greater Noida has benefited from government initiatives such as the establishment of Special Economic Zones, SEZs, and the Production-Linked Incentive Scheme, PLI, to promote Make in India and electronics manufacturing. Q216. Explore the dual effects of footloose industries on local communities, as they bring a mixed bag of benefits and challenges. Propose strategies to amplify the positive outcomes while adeptly mitigating the adverse consequences. 15 marks, 250 words. Core demand of question: discuss the benefits of footloose industries for local communities. Describe the challenges associated with the footloose industries for local communities. Detail the ingenious strategies to amplify the benefits of footloose industries as well to mitigate the adversities. ANS. Footloose industries, characterized by their mobility and adaptability, encompass businesses or sectors capable of easily relocating or establishing operations in diverse areas, driven by factors such as cost, market demand, and regulatory conditions, all with the aim of optimizing profits. For instance, the fashion and apparel design industries thrive in fashion-forward cities like Mumbai, Delhi, and Bengaluru. Benefits of footloose industries. Economic growth. Footloose industries, being mobile and adaptable, can stimulate local economies by creating jobs and generating revenue, exemplified by the growth of information technology, IT, industry in Bengaluru. Employment generation. Footloose industries can create jobs for local residents, ranging from entry-level positions to specialized roles. Example: call centers and business process outsourcing, BPO. Companies hire a large number of local workers to provide customer support and back-office service infrastructure development. The establishment of footloose industries often requires improved infrastructure, such as roads, utilities, and communication networks. These upgrades can benefit both the industries and the local community, as demonstrated by the petrochemical industry in Gujarat. Skills enhancement. Sometimes, these industries offer training and skill development programs to the local workforce, enhancing their employability and fostering human capital development. This is exemplified by the development of automobile manufacturing in Chennai. Diversification of economy. The presence of footloose industries can diversify the local economy, reducing dependence on a single sector, as demonstrated by the growth of pharmaceutical industry in Hyderabad. Knowledge transfer. Footloose industries often bring advanced technologies and practices, facilitating knowledge transfer and innovation, as demonstrated by the development of the biotechnology industry in Pune. Cultural exchange. Footloose industries can attract a diverse workforce, promoting cultural exchange and diversity within the local community. It is clearly visible in Mumbai, where the Bollywood film industry attracts talent and individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds. Challenges to local communities due to footloose industries. Labor exploitation. Footloose industries exploiting cheap labor, like Tirupur's textile factories, which foster unfair practices and poor conditions. Women workers there often face substandard conditions, inadequate wages, and lack of social security, highlighting labor vulnerabilities. Uneven development. Footloose Industries benefits might not uniformly reach all locals, causing income inequality and social strife. For instance, Gurgaon's IT and auto industry growth yielded stark income disparities between skilled professionals and marginalized laborers, accentuating societal tensions. Land displacement. Footloose Industries' land acquisition can displace communities and disrupt agriculture. Tata Motors' planned nano car plant in Singur, West Bengal, sparked protests and controversy over farmer displacement and land acquisition. Dependency on external factors. Footloose Industries' reliance on global market shifts can trigger job losses and economic downturns. Changing consumer preferences, like the reduced demand for smartphones, detrimentally affected mobile manufacturing hubs such as Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Resource strain. The rapid growth of Footloose Industries can strain local resources like water, electricity, and infrastructure, leading to shortages and inadequate service provision. Example: shutting down of Maidaganj plant of Coca-Cola, which is accused of extracting too much groundwater and releasing pollutants above limits. Cultural erosion. Influx of external workers risks eroding local traditions and identity, impacting community cohesion. Mumbai's influx of migrant laborers has transformed its cultural fabric, illustrating this phenomenon. Environmental degradation. Footloose Industries' rapid growth can cause pollution and resource depletion, harming local ecosystems. Delhi's Sealampur e-waste recycling industry serves as an example of improper waste disposal damaging communities. Strategies. Community benefit agreements. Collaborate with industries to establish agreements ensuring fair wages, safe working conditions, and community development initiatives. For example, Wilmar International established a community benefit agreement with local communities in Ghana. Sustainable urban planning. Implement eco-friendly designs and sustainable practices in industrial zones, as demonstrated by Surat's efforts to balance economic growth with environmental preservation. Cultural preservation programs. Develop initiatives to preserve local cultures while embracing diversity, drawing inspiration from the preservation of indigenous cultures in regions like Ladakh. Skill enhancement partnerships. Collaborate with industries and educational institutions to offer skill development programs, similar to skill enhancement initiatives in the automotive hub of Chennai. Community land ownership. Explore models where local communities collectively benefit from land used for industrial projects, inspired by community-owned land in regions like Himachal Pradesh. Inclusive economic policies. Formulate policies that encourage local entrepreneurship and innovation, as seen in the promotion of small and medium enterprises, SMEs, in Kerala. As Footloose Industries shape local communities with their dual impact, it's crucial to envision a future where we optimize benefits and adeptly tackle challenges. Within this tapestry of innovation, we embrace opportunities while navigating obstacles, paving the way for Footloose Industries to foster thriving, resilient, and inclusive communities that shine as symbols of progress on the global stage. Q217. Examine the multifaceted determinants that wield their influence over the growth and evolution of diverse industries. Propose measures to bolster industrial resilience and foster innovation in the face of dynamic market forces. 15 marks, 250 words. Core demand of question detail the multifaceted determinants influencing the growth and evolution of diverse industries. Substantiate with the relevant examples or statistics. Provide some measures to increase industrial resilience and foster innovation in the face of dynamic market forces. ANS. Industries are the diverse sectors encompassing various economic activities that produce goods and services for consumption. They are integral components of a nation's economy, driving innovation, employment, and growth. Diverse factors exert their influence on the progression of industries, encompassing aspects ranging from human resources to ecological considerations. Determinants of the growth and evolution of diverse industries. Economic conditions. Economic conditions wield a significant influence over consumer spending, investment, and the overall health of industries, as exemplified by the profound impact of the 2008 financial crisis on the banking and financial services sector. Raw material availability. Industries relying on specific raw materials are sensitive to availability, scarcity, and pricing of these resources exemplified by the growth of iron and steel industries in the states of Odisha and Chhattisgarh. Land and infrastructure. Access to suitable land, industrial zones, and infrastructure is pivotal for manufacturing, construction, and logistics sectors. For example, Gift City has emerged as a hub for financial services and technology companies because of its world-class infrastructure and facilities. Capital and financing. Influence industries via loans, venture capital, and equity for startups. Borrowing costs shape investment decisions and operations, while stock markets, bonds, and securities influence funding and investor confidence. For example, the dot-com bubble's collapse in the early 2000s highlighted the necessity of sustainable financing for industrial growth. Crisis and disruptions. Unforeseen events like pandemics, natural disasters, or financial crises can cause abrupt shifts in industries, prompting adaptations and innovation to survive and recover, as seen post-Fukushima disaster spurring renewable energy investments in Japan. Labor dynamics, including skilled workforce availability and human capital development, profoundly impact industry success, exemplified by India's IT industry growth attributed to its skilled English-speaking workforce. Market demand fuels industry evolution as businesses adapt to shifting consumer preferences, as seen in the global surge of the electric vehicle (EV) industry. For example, remarkably, EV sales hit a landmark 10 million in 2022, projected to surge further by 35% in 2023, reaching 14 million, as reported by the International Energy Agency (IEA). Technological advancements catalyze innovation, enhance efficiency, and open new horizons for industries, illustrated by the transformative growth of the smartphone sector propelled by advancements in mobile technology, enabling touchscreens, app ecosystems, and high-speed internet access. Social factors. Social dynamics exert a notable influence on industry growth and evolution, encompassing demographics, culture, and lifestyle. For example, the rising prominence of fitness and wellness has propelled the expansion of the fitness industry, while the waning appeal of traditional media has contributed to the global decline of the newspaper sector. Regulatory changes. Changes in laws and regulations can significantly impact industries, either opening up new opportunities or imposing restrictions. For example, Canada's nationwide legalization of cannabis in 2018 transformed the industry, allowing companies like Canopy Growth and Aurora Cannabis to operate legally and expand. Competitive dynamics stimulate innovation, differentiation, and adaptation within industries, propelling growth and evolution. This is evident in the swift expansion of the e-commerce sector, where traditional retailers like Walmart and Target revamped strategies to contend with online behemoths like Amazon. Globalization and trade exert substantial influence on industry expansion, exemplified by the automotive sector's growth and transformation. For example, notably, Japanese giants Toyota and Honda ventured into global markets, significantly bolstering the worldwide automotive industry's progress and development. Environmental concerns. Environmental concerns compel industries to embrace eco-friendly practices, renewable energy solutions, and carbon footprint reduction, exemplified by the burgeoning waste recycling sector. For example, anticipated to value at $60 billion in 2023, this industry is projected to soar to $110 billion by 2033, reflecting the rising emphasis on sustainability and climate consciousness. Measures to bolster industrial resilience and foster innovation. Collaborative innovation ecosystems. Establish hubs where industry players, startups, and researchers converge for idea exchange, pooling resources, and co-creation. For example, Silicon Valley's model demonstrates cross-industry synergy for swift adaptation. Agile supply chains. Adopt responsive models like just-in-time inventory and local production, reducing vulnerabilities. For example, automotive sector's flexible manufacturing systems ensure operations amid market volatility. Cross-disciplinary R&D. Promote diverse field collaboration for unconventional solutions. For example, pharma-academic partnership in COVID-19 vaccines showcases interdisciplinary power. Upskilling and reskilling. Equip adaptable workforce via programs like Google's Applied Digital Skills, enhancing industry resilience and employability. Regulatory sandboxes. Encourage experimentation in controlled environments, as fintech's safe testing of financial innovations proves. Open innovation partnerships. Collaborate with startups, institutions, and industries for idea cross-pollination, as seen in Procter & Gamble's Connect and Develop strategy. Sustainable practices. Embed environmental sustainability, exemplified by Patagonia's circular economy, enhancing long-term resilience and consumer loyalty. Continuous learning culture. Nurture experimentation mindset and improvement, like Google's 20% time policy fostering innovation. Data analytics and AI. Utilize predictive models for market trends, exemplified by Amazon's AI-driven demand forecasting. Crisis management protocols. Develop clear crisis management protocols to respond effectively to unexpected events and disruptions, minimizing their impact on operations and reputation. User-centered design. Prioritize user feedback, as Apple's design thinking exemplifies resonating products for market success. The factors influencing the growth and evolution of industries are primed to follow a futuristic trajectory, driven by the fusion of technology, globalization, and societal shifts. By fostering a collective commitment from all stakeholders, industries hold the potential to not only fortify their adaptive prowess in this dynamic era, but also to craft a compelling narrative of innovation, sustainability, and resilience that will intricately shape the industries of tomorrow. Q218. Discuss the factors influencing the location of the iron and steel industry in India and elaborate its spatial distribution pattern in the country. 10 marks, 150 words. Core demand of question. Enumerate the factors influencing the location of the iron and steel industry in India. Explain about the spatial distribution pattern in the country ANS. The iron and steel industry plays a crucial role in the economic development of any country, and India is no exception. Over the years, the iron and steel industry in India has witnessed significant growth, and as a result, India has become one of the largest steel producers globally. Factors influencing the location of the iron and steel industry in India. Availability of raw materials. Regions with rich deposits of these raw materials attract the industry. For example, Odisha is rich in iron ore deposits, while Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh have abundant coal reserves. Proximity to markets. Cities like Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, and Delhi, with large industrial and construction sectors, are attractive for steel plants. Access to transportation networks. Regions with well-developed transportation networks, such as Maharashtra and Gujarat, have an advantage as rail, road, and ports is crucial for the industry. Energy availability. States like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha have access to coal and hydroelectric power, making them favorable locations. Water resources. Sufficient water availability for the manufacturing process and other industrial requirements is essential for example states like Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Andhra Pradesh, with ample water resources, attract steel plants. Government policies. States like Gujarat and Maharashtra have implemented investor-friendly policies such as tax breaks, subsidies, and ease of doing business, influencing the location decisions of steel companies. Labor availability. States with a large pool of industrial workers, such as West Bengal, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu, are preferred. Infrastructure development. Well-developed industrial infrastructure, including industrial parks, industrial estates, and steel clusters, attracts steel manufacturers. Example: Jamshedpur Tata area in Jharkhand and Rourkela in Odisha. Environmental regulations. States with relatively lenient regulations may attract steel plants, while those with stringent measures may deter them. Presence of ancillary industries, such as engineering, machine tools, and refractories, can influence location choices. Regions like Gujarat and Maharashtra have a strong ancillary industry base. Spatial distribution pattern of the iron and steel industry in India. Eastern region. States like Odisha, Jharkhand, and West Bengal have a significant concentration of steel plants. This region has abundant iron ore and coal reserves, making it a favorable location. For example, Rourkela Steel Plant in Odisha. Western region. States like Maharashtra and Gujarat have a notable presence of steel plants. These states have favorable infrastructure, access to markets, and availability of skilled labor. For example, Panchmahal Steel Limited in Gujarat. Q219. Southern region. Karnataka and Tamil Nadu have a growing presence of steel plants. Factors such as access to ports, availability of skilled labor, and proximity to markets. Example: Salem Steel Plant, Tamil Nadu. Northern region. States like Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and Haryana have a moderate presence of steel plants preferred due to proximity to the NCR and access to markets. Central region. Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh have emerging steel industries. These states have abundant mineral resources, good connectivity, and favorable government policies. Coastal areas. Coastal states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Andhra Pradesh have steel plants due to their access to ports for importing raw materials and exporting finished products. Overall, it is influenced by a myriad of factors that contribute to the overall efficiency and profitability of the sector. Understanding these factors and their impact on the spatial distribution pattern of the iron and steel industry in India is essential for comprehending the dynamics of this important sector. Enumerate the significance of the semiconductor industry, as well as illustrate the key factors influencing its spatial distribution globally. Substantiate your answer with relevant examples. 10 marks, 150 words. Core demand of question: mention the significance of the semiconductor industry. Enumerate the key factors influencing its spatial distribution globally. ANS. A semiconductor is typically a solid chemical element or compound that conducts electricity under certain conditions. This makes it an ideal medium to control electrical current and everyday electrical appliances. The semiconductor industry is emerging as the sunrise industry due to its rapid growth, technological advancements, and increasing demand for electronic devices across the globe, especially post-COVID-19. Significance of the semiconductor industry: strategic importance. Domestic semiconductor manufacturing can reduce dependence on imports, ensure a secure supply chain, and protect sensitive defense technologies. For example, India's semiconductor industry was valued $34.3 billion in 2022 and is expected to reach $100.2 billion by 2032. Technological innovation. The integrated circuits made up of semiconductors within a smartphone enable its functionalities, including processing power, wireless communication, and sensor integration. Economic growth. Companies like Intel, Samsung, and TSMC, which manufactures these semiconductors, generate billions in revenue and drive economic growth in their respective regions. Connectivity and communication. Optical networking relies on semiconductor lasers and photodetectors to transmit and receive data at high speeds over long distances. Automotive advancements. Microcontrollers and sensors in electric vehicles are made up of semiconductors. They manage battery performance and optimize the energy usage, leading towards sustainability. Healthcare and biotechnology. They enable devices such as medical imaging equipment, DNA sequencing machines, and wearable health trackers. Renewable energy. Solar photovoltaic cells utilize semiconductors to convert sunlight into electricity, while lithium-ion batteries rely on semiconductor materials for energy storage. Key factors influencing its spatial distribution globally. Raw materials. The presence of silicon mines in regions like China, the United States, and Brazil can influence the location of semiconductor manufacturing due to the availability of essential raw materials. Proximity to technology hubs. To exemplify, Silicon Valley in California, USA, is home to many semiconductor giants such as Intel and AMD. Access to skilled labor. To illustrate, Taiwan's Hsinchu Science Park has attracted major semiconductor manufacturers like TSMC due to its proximity to top-tier engineering universities. Infrastructure and logistics. Countries like South Korea and Singapore have invested heavily in developing infrastructure to attract semiconductor companies. Government incentives and policies. China's aggressive industrial policies and subsidies have led to the rapid growth of its semiconductor industry. Another example can be India's PLI scheme. Market demand. For instance, several semiconductor companies have set up manufacturing plants in East Asia to serve the thriving consumer electronics market in the region. Intellectual property protection. The USA and several European countries have robust IP protection frameworks, which have encouraged semiconductor companies to establish operations there. Overall, the semiconductor industry's significance lies in its role as a catalyst for technological progress, economic growth, connectivity, automotive advancements, healthcare, and renewable energy, shaping the world we live in today. Considering industrial corridor in India, explicate the hurdles and suggestive measures needed to ensure their effective and successful implementation. 10 marks, 150 words. Core demand of question: mention the challenges faced in the effective implementation and success of industrial corridors suggest the measures needed to ensure their effective implementation and success of industrial corridors. Industrial corridors are designated areas that focus on promoting industrial development, economic growth, and infrastructure development, serving as integrated zones with modern infrastructure, connectivity, and business-friendly policies. E.g., Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. Challenges faced in the effective implementation and success of industrial corridors land acquisition. To exemplify, the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, DMIC, faced land acquisition challenges in states like Maharashtra and Gujarat, leading to delays in project implementation. Regional disparities. Industrial corridors aim to promote balanced regional development. However, existing regional disparities can pose challenges as seen in the Chennai-Bengaluru Industrial Corridor, CBIC. Regulatory clearances and approvals. Complex bureaucratic procedures and delays in obtaining environmental and land clearances have been challenges for various industrial corridors. Environmental concerns. The Mumbai-Bengaluru Economic Corridor, MBEC, has faced environmental challenges due to the degradation of natural resources along the corridor. Skill development. Skill gaps and inadequate training facilities can be a significant challenge as seen in the Visakhapatnam-Chennai Industrial Corridor, VCIC. For example, only 5% of workforce is formally trained in India as against 80% and 96% in countries like Japan and South Korea respectively. Connectivity and logistics. As inadequate transportation infrastructure, congested ports, and complex customs procedures can impact the movement of goods. For example, the Delhi-Kolkata Industrial Corridor, DKIC. Financial constraints. As these projects require substantial investments in infrastructure development, land acquisition, and other associated costs. For example, the Bengaluru-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, BMIC, faced delayed project implementation due to this. Measures to ensure effective implementation and success of industrial corridors in India. Land acquisition and planning. A dedicated agency responsible for land acquisition, ensuring smooth implementation needs to be created for such projects. Skill development and training. Focus on skill development initiatives along industrial corridors can help attract greater investments, boost growth, and industrial competitiveness. Industry collaboration and clusters. It will help in promoting the development of industrial clusters in sectors like automobiles, IT, and pharmaceuticals. Ensuring environmental sustainability. Implementing eco-friendly practices, promoting renewable energy, and ensuring proper waste management are essential. Research and development, R&D support. Establishing R&D centers and promoting collaboration between industries and research institutions can drive growth. Connectivity and digitalization. Strengthening digital connectivity will help in attracting industries and promote e-commerce and IT-enabled services. Public-private people partnerships. PPPs collaborating with private players and taking support from local people can bring in expertise, investments, and technology while reducing resistance and delays. Going ahead, these measures, when implemented effectively, can contribute to the successful establishment and development of industrial corridors in India, fostering economic growth, job creation, and regional development to achieve the goal of $5 trillion economy. Q221. Explain the prominence of the petroleum refining industry in India. Also highlight key factors contributing to its growth and challenges faced by it. 15 marks, 250 words. Core demand of question highlight the significance of the petroleum refining industry in India. Mention about key factors contributing to growth of petroleum refining industry in India. Mention about the key challenges faced by petroleum refining industry in India. ANS. The petroleum refining industry in India plays a crucial role in meeting the country's energy demands and supporting its economic growth. Recently, India has become the largest supplier of refined fuels to Europe, surpassing Saudi Arabia. Prominence of the petroleum refining industry in India energy security. Petroleum refining industry plays a crucial role in refining crude oil into various products like gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel, ensuring a stable supply of energy for domestic consumption. Industrial development. To illustrate, Indian Oil Corporation Limited (IOCL) supplies naphtha to the petrochemical industry, enabling the production of plastics, fibers, and other chemicals. Technology transfer. It happens through collaborations with international companies. For example, Bharat Petroleum. Corporation Limited (BPCL) collaborated with the UK-based BP to upgrade its Kochi refinery. Export and forex reserves. Petroleum products are one of the top exporting products from India, providing significant forex reserves. For example, India exported petroleum products worth $70 billion from April 2023 to January 2024. Employment opportunities. As refineries employ a large number of workers, both directly and indirectly, contributing to the country's economic growth and development. For example, India's 12 major oil and gas public sector undertakings, PSUs, employed 94,300 permanent workers at the end of 2022 to 23. Key factors contributing to its growth: increasing demand for petroleum products. For instance, the increased ownership of vehicles has resulted in higher gasoline consumption. For example, India expects fuel demand to grow 2.7% in 2024 to 25. Geopolitics. For instance, sanctions on countries like Russia, which disrupted their oil exports and created opportunities for other refining hubs. Russia now contributes 25% in India's energy demand, which was 2% before the war began. Partnership among countries. For example, Saudi Aramco's partnership with Indian Oil Corporation and other stakeholders in the Ratnagiri Refinery and Petrochemicals Limited is expected to enhance India's refining capabilities. Government initiatives. For instance, the deregulation of petroleum product prices and the introduction of the new exploration licensing policy, NELP, measures have attracted both domestic and foreign investments in the sector. Capacity expansion. One notable example is the Reliance Industries Jamnagar refinery, which is one of the largest in the world with a refining capacity of 1.24 million barrels per day. Some key challenges faced by petroleum refinery industry: competition from imports. Imports often provide a cheaper alternative, especially when international prices are lower than domestic production costs. Lack of skilled workforce. There is a shortage of skilled workers with specialized knowledge in this sector. This shortage hampers efficient functioning. Volatility in crude oil prices. Fluctuating crude oil prices in the global market impact the profitability of refineries as they purchase crude oil at market rates. Environmental concerns. The refining industry is under pressure to comply with stringent environmental regulations. Infrastructure constraints. Insufficient pipeline infrastructure and storage facilities in certain regions of India pose challenges in transporting and storing petroleum products efficiently, leading to logistical issues. Despite these challenges, the petroleum refining industry in India has shown resilience and continues to grow, driven by the rising demand for petroleum products and government support. Efforts to address the challenges will be crucial for sustaining the growth trajectory of the industry in the country. Q222. Identify the role that agglomeration economies play in the geographic dispersion of tertiary sector industries like services and information technology. How does their concentration in particular areas be attributed to variables like infrastructure, skilled labor, and urbanization? 15 marks, 250 words. Core demand of question mention the role of agglomeration economies in the geographic dispersion of tertiary sector industries like services and information technology. Explain how their concentration in particular areas be attributed to variables like infrastructure, skilled labor, and urbanization. ANS. Agglomeration economies refers to the benefits that firms obtain by locating near each other. It's driven by the cost savings, shared resources, skilled labor accessibility, and knowledge spillovers that come from geographical concentration. This effect fuels growth in cities and industrial clusters. For example, Knowledge Park in Greater Noida. Its role in the geographic dispersion of tertiary sector industries like services and information technology labor market pooling. Major cities like Bangalore in India or Silicon Valley in the US are testament to the importance of labor market pooling. These areas attract a concentration of skilled IT professionals, allowing companies to source and swap talent easily. Specialized inputs and services. Industries benefit from nearby specialized suppliers. E.g., financial services in Mumbai rely on closely situated legal and consulting firms. Similarly, London's City District benefits from proximity to legal, consulting, and other ancillary services. Knowledge spillovers. Close proximity encourages knowledge exchange and innovation. Startups in the high-tech city, Hyderabad, benefit from being near global IT firms like Microsoft and Google. In the U.S., Stanford's proximity to Silicon Valley has spurred high-tech startups. Cost savings. Co-location brings shared infrastructure like transportation, utilities, or real estate. Pune's Rajiv Gandhi Infotech Park provides shared facilities for companies like Infosys and Tech Mahindra, similar to the shared infrastructure in the Research Triangle Park in North Carolina. Access to markets and clients. Firms locate near their clients to better understand their needs and provide quick services. This is especially true in client-intensive sectors like advertising or consulting, where firms cluster in cities like Mumbai and New York. Their concentration in particular areas can be attributed to variables in the following ways: infrastructure, as transportation, utilities, and ICT facilities are crucial for industries to function efficiently. Bengaluru's transformation into an IT hub can be attributed to its superior infrastructure. Skilled labor. Cities attract a large pool of skilled labor, offering a diverse talent pool. Hyderabad's high-tech city hosts several reputed educational institutions, fostering a local talent pool. Similarly, Boston's Route 128 benefits from proximity to universities like Harvard and MIT. Urbanization. Urbanized areas often provide better facilities and opportunities, drawing industries. For instance, Gurgaon's rapid urbanization is tied to the growth of IT and BPO services. San Francisco's urban environment similarly lures tech startups. Government policies. Supportive government policies, including tax benefits and SEZs, influence firm location. Policies have helped develop SEEPs in Mumbai and Shenzhen in China into bustling tech centers. In conclusion, agglomeration economies play a significant role in the geographic dispersion of tertiary sector industries. These industries tend to be concentrated in areas with good infrastructure, skilled labor, and urbanization. These factors allow these industries to operate effectively and to benefit from economies of scale. Q223. Critically examine the significance of the International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, in bolstering India's economic engagements with Southwest Asia. 15 marks, 250 words, core demand of Question Asia. Provide its limitations. Give a way forward. Explain the significance of the INSTC in bolstering India's economic engagements with Southwest ANS. International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, is a multi-mode transit system that links India, Russia, Iran, Europe, and Central Asia through sea, rail, and road connectivity. Solidified by a May 16, 2002 agreement, it exemplifies collaborative efforts to enhance regional and global trade. This trade conduit can foster smoother trade and deeper economic integration between India and Southwest Asia, as explained below. Significance of INSTC in bolstering India's economic engagements with Southwest Asia. Cost-effective and shorter trade routes. INSTC provides notably shorter, cost-effective routes. A study by India's Federation of Freight Forwarders Associations shows it's 30% cheaper and 40% shorter than the current traditional route. Access to resource-rich regions. INSTC gives India direct access to resource-rich areas, enabling direct oil and gas imports from Saudi Arabia, Iran, and other Southwest Asian nations. Diversification of trade routes. INSTC enhances India's trade resilience by diversifying options, allowing goods transport through the corridor instead of heavily relying on the congested and geopolitically sensitive routes. Trade facilitation. INSTC enhances trade partnerships, enabling India to expand its economic engagement with Southwest Asian nations through diverse exports, including agricultural products, machinery, and perishable goods. Infrastructure development. INSTC stimulates the development of infrastructure along its route, bolstering rail, road, and port facilities, thereby fostering connectivity and generating investment prospects for businesses. Geopolitical balance. INSTC's alternate route minimizes choke point vulnerability like the Strait of Hormuz, enhancing India's stability. Additionally, avoiding conflict zones ensures uninterrupted trade, fostering regional geopolitical stability. Limitations. Infrastructure challenges. The development of efficient transport infrastructure along the INSTC route might face delays or complications, hindering smooth trade operations. For instance, inadequate road networks in certain areas could lead to delays in transporting goods. Interconnected political issues. Involvement of multiple nations with diverse geopolitical interests along the route might result in diplomatic tensions, affecting smooth goods flow. For example, Iran-Iraq conflicts might disrupt INSDC's trade operations. Customs and border procedures. Varying customs and border procedures among participating nations may cause delays and bureaucratic obstacles at checkpoints, posing challenges for traders due to differing import-export regulations. Security concerns. INSDC's route crosses security-sensitive areas like the Caspian Sea, potentially facing piracy or insurgency risks, leading to apprehensions about the safety of goods and personnel during transit. Competing trade routes. Despite offering an alternative, the reliability and established infrastructure of routes like the Suez Canal might keep them preferred, potentially limiting the anticipated significant shift in trade dynamics that INSDC aims to achieve. Asymmetric development. Unevenly distributed infrastructure growth within the corridor can create trade imbalances. For instance, nations with advanced port facilities could gain more trade benefits, potentially disadvantaging those with less developed infrastructure. Environmental concerns. INSDC's expanded trade could amplify carbon emissions, transportation pollution, and habitat disruption. For instance, greater cargo movement could elevate vehicle emissions and ecological disturbances. Operational limitations. The INSDC faces operational limitations due to a weak institutional mechanism, as evident in potential delays caused by customs or border issues along the route. Way forward: strengthen institutional mechanism. Develop a robust framework for efficient issue resolution and coordination along the INSDC, inspired by successful models like the European Union's Trans-European Transport Network, TEN-T. Enhance multilateral cooperation. Foster stronger collaboration among participating countries to mitigate geopolitical tensions, drawing inspiration from the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, for effective regional cooperation. Investment in balanced infrastructure. Prioritize equitable infrastructure growth through joint initiatives and funds, leveraging successful approaches like the European Union's cohesion funds that promote connectivity and development across diverse regions. Risk mitigation strategies. Formulate comprehensive risk management plans against security concerns by collaborating with international maritime security agencies, guided by insights from the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, IONS. Environmental sustainability initiatives. Integrate eco-friendly practices by adopting carbon offset programs, cleaner transportation technologies, and sustainable infrastructure approaches, mirroring the operational model of the Port of Rotterdam. To conclude, INSDC assumes a pivotal role in fostering connectivity between India and Southwest Asia in the realm of global trade. While acknowledging the presence of challenges requiring cautious management, a collaborative and harmonious effort offers the potential for sustainable economic growth, resonating across the region and molding the tapestry of trade dynamics. Extra edge: alignment of INSDC with the Ashgabat Agreement. The INSDC coincides with the Ashgabat Agreement, a multimodal transportation pact signed by the countries India, Oman, Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Pakistan. This accord seeks to create an international corridor for seamless movement of goods connecting Central Asia and the Persian Gulf. The incorporation of INSDC into the Ashgabat Agreement augments the corridor's reach and impact. Broader regional integration. Countries along the INSDC route can collaborate on economic initiatives. An example is joint investment in special economic zones or technology parks, creating hubs that attract investment and drive economic growth for the entire region. Q224. Evaluate the impact of emerging technologies on the future of transport in India. Discuss the challenges and potential benefits of adopting these technologies. 15 marks, 250 words, core demand of question delve into the impacts of emerging technologies on the future of transport in India. Mention the challenges associated with the adoption of emerging technologies. Describe the potential benefits of these rising technologies. ANS. This era of innovation is characterized by the fusion of the digital, physical, and biological worlds, leading to the creation of intelligent and interconnected systems. Emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, IoT, autonomous vehicles, electric propulsion, hyperloop systems, and renewable energy sources are poised to disrupt traditional transportation paradigms and open up new avenues of possibility. Impact of emerging technologies on the future of transport in India. Enhanced public transportation. Smart transit systems and digital platforms can improve public transportation. For example, The Pune Integrated Multimodal Transport Hub project integrates various modes of transport to create a seamless travel experience for passengers. Enhanced efficiency. Automation and digital technologies optimize route planning, maintenance, and logistics, reducing fuel consumption and costs while ensuring reliable, on-time deliveries, for example. Amazon's utilization of advanced algorithms for optimizing delivery routes serves as a notable example. Decongested roads. Shared mobility and ride-hailing services encourage carpooling and reduce the number of private vehicles on the road, leading to decreased traffic congestion and shorter travel times. For example, a study by the National Association of City Transportation Officials found that shared mobility services can reduce traffic congestion by up to 20%. Shift in urban planning. Smart transport tech integration can drive urban planning transformation, fostering pedestrian zones, cycling lanes, and efficient transit. For example, Pune's reshaped environment for sustainability and livability through the adoption of smart technologies like IoT sensors, real-time data analytics, and intelligent traffic management systems. Redefined business models. Emerging technologies are enabling new business models like mobility as a service, MaaS, where users can access various modes of transportation through a single platform. MaaS is still in its early stages of development, providing a new hope to transform how people pay for and use transportation services. Green infrastructure. Integration of green infrastructure, such as cycling lanes and pedestrian-friendly spaces, can encourage sustainable modes of transport and improve the overall urban environment. For example, Kochi Water Metro challenges in the adoption of emerging technologies. Limited infrastructure readiness. India's transport infrastructure is still inadequate for new technologies, like the mass adoption of electric vehicles, EVs. For example, as of February 2, 2024, there are only 12,146 operational public charging stations, PCS, hindering EV proliferation. Complex regulatory landscape. Highlighted by challenges faced in the collaboration between Tata Elxsi and AI on autonomous vehicles, the regulatory complexity in India acts as a barrier to technological progress, particularly due to unclear guidelines for testing and deployment as of 2023. Affordability and accessibility barriers. Emerging technologies might remain out of reach for many Indians due to economic disparities. For instance, in 2020, the average price of an electric car in India was above double the price of a conventional petrol or diesel car. Technological interoperability. Ensuring interoperability among different emerging technologies can be challenging. For example, coordinating data and communication systems between intelligent transportation infrastructure, autonomous vehicles, and IoT devices requires compatible standards and protocols to enable seamless integration. Urban congestion challenges. India's densely populated cities, like Mumbai with its 17 km/h peak hour speed, struggle with severe traffic. The prospect of flying cars, such as those explored by Terrafugia, presents challenges in terms of airspace management and infrastructure development to mitigate congestion effectively. Digital divide hindrance. Uneven internet access, such as only 29% in rural Bihar, hampers tech adoption. Ride-hailing, Uber, Ola, effectiveness is limited beyond cities due to low rural connectivity. Cultural and behavioral shifts. Embracing new transport technologies necessitates changes in societal norms, with bike-sharing systems like Yulu requiring convincing traditional commuters to embrace shared mobility concepts. Potential benefits of the emerging technologies. Economic growth and job creation. Embracing new technologies can spur innovation and create new industries. For example, the growth of app-based ride-hailing services like Ola and Uber has generated employment opportunities for drivers across the country. Additionally, a study by the World Economic Forum found that smart transportation technologies could create 97 million new jobs in India by 2025. Reduction in road accidents. Advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS, and vehicle-to-vehicle communication enhance road safety. For example, Volvo's collaboration with the Karnataka government to test autonomous buses in Bengaluru showcases a focus on safer transportation. Time and cost savings. Emerging technologies such as autonomous vehicles and high-speed rail systems have the potential to revolutionize travel efficiency, exemplified by the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project aiming to reduce travel time between cities from 7 hours to just 2 hours using high-speed trains. Additionally, the Indian Railways sensor-driven AI system testing could potentially save up to $1 billion annually. Data-driven planning and decision-making. Integrating data analytics can optimize routes, schedules, and infrastructure development. For example, the use of data by Bangalore Metropolitan Transport Corporation, BMTC, to improve bus services illustrates the potential of data-driven insights. Environmental benefits. The transition to electric vehicles, EVs, and improved public transportation can significantly reduce air pollution. For example, Delhi Metro's use of Hyperloop technology and solar energy exemplify the reduction in emissions in the region. Last-mile connectivity. Electric scooters, bicycles, and small electric vehicles can bridge the gap between public transportation stations and people's final destinations, providing seamless last-mile connectivity. For example, Yulu e-cycle stands on Delhi metro stations. Amidst the environmentally sensitive era of Industry 4.0, emerging transport technologies are forging a path towards a revolutionary and sustainable future for India's transportation domain. Consequently, by leveraging meticulous research, fostering collaboration, and adeptly tackling adoption hurdles, the full potential of these innovations can be unlocked to reshape the nation's transport landscape. Extra edge. The city of Pune is using intelligent transport systems, ITS, to monitor traffic and optimize traffic signals, which has reduced congestion by up to 20%. A recent study by the Boston Consulting Group found that autonomous vehicles could reduce traffic congestion in India by up to 30%. The city of Bangalore has seen a 20% increase in the number of people using shared mobility services since 2018. A study by the World Bank also found that smart transportation technologies could reduce traffic congestion in India by up to 20%. A study by the Indian government found that smart transportation technologies could improve air quality in India by up to 10%. The Indian government's 30% EV target by 2030 might reduce CO2 emissions by up to 1 billion tons annually. A study by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety found that ADAS can reduce the risk of fatal crashes by up to 20%. The Indian Railways is currently testing a train that runs on biofuel, and the government is investing in research and development of hydrogen fuel cells. Way forward, pilot projects and demonstrations. Utilize pilot projects and demonstrations of emerging technologies, like the Bangalore Metropolitan Transport Corporation's trials of electric buses, to exemplify advantages, instill public confidence, and collect data for informed policy development. Renewable-powered Hyperloop networks. Partner with tech firms to construct renewable-powered Hyperloop networks, uniting major cities in swift, eco-friendly transportation. Virgin Hyperloop's tie-up with Indian states demonstrates the rapid, sustainable travel possibilities of these networks. Capacity building and skill development. Enhance skill development for the transport sector's evolving technical demands through programs like the National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC. Training individuals in areas like electric vehicle technologies to nurture a proficient workforce. Regulatory support and incentives. Foster technology adoption through a favorable regulatory framework offering incentives. The Government of India's FAME scheme, which provides financial incentives for electric vehicle purchases and charging infrastructure development, is a prime example. AI-powered traffic management. Optimize traffic flow by implementing AI-driven algorithms for real-time traffic management, dynamically adjusting signals, lane assignments, and predicting congestion, as demonstrated in Los Angeles, where AI-controlled signals effectively alleviate congestion. Integrated mobility platforms. Create integrated mobility as a service (MaaS) platforms, enabling users to seamlessly plan, book, and pay for diverse travel options through a single app, similar to Finland's WIM app, which offers unified access to public transport, taxis, bikes, and rental cars through a single subscription. Urban aerial mobility hubs. Establish vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) hubs for urban air mobility, enabling efficient transportation in congested cities. For instance, the Uber Elevate initiative aims to create VTOL hubs on rooftops to facilitate aerial ride-sharing in cities. Smart mobility corridors can be developed in urban areas, integrating autonomous vehicles, electric charging infrastructure, and smart traffic management. For instance, Singapore's One North Autonomous Vehicle Trial Zone showcases how a designated area can foster innovation in self-driving technology. Blockchain-enabled transit payments. Implement blockchain technology to create a secure and transparent payment system for public transportation. For instance, Estonia's use of blockchain for ticketing and ride-sharing has streamlined transactions and improved user experience. Q215. Expound on the potential of space resources in addressing the global resource imbalance. Support your answer with suitable examples while mentioning the challenges associated with utilizing space resources. 10 marks, 150 words. Core demand of question mention the potential of space resources in addressing the global resource crisis. Enumerate the challenges associated with utilizing space resources. ANS. Space resources refer to materials present in space that can be utilized for various purposes, including space exploration, scientific research, and commercial activities. These resources include minerals, helium, water, fuel, various inert gases, and other materials that can be mined from asteroids, planets, etc. Resource imbalance refers to the unequal distribution of natural resources and the disparities in access to these resources among different countries and regions worldwide. Example: China dominates the production and supply of rare earth elements, which gives it significant leverage in the global market. Potential of space resources in addressing the global resource imbalance. Helium-3. The Moon is rich in helium-3, a potential fuel for nuclear fusion, which could revolutionize clean and abundant energy production on Earth. For example, as per UN, globally 733 million people don't have electricity access. Water ice. The presence of water ice on the Moon and asteroids can be extracted and used as a critical resource for life support systems, fuel production, and irrigation in space habitats. Asteroid mining. Asteroids contain valuable metals like gold, platinum, and nickel, offering a new source of these resources without the environmental impact associated with terrestrial mining. Energy production. Solar power stations in space can capture solar energy without atmospheric interference, providing a constant and abundant source of clean energy for Earth. For example, 3 billion people across the globe lacks the clean energy access for cooking. Colonization and expansion. Space resources enable long-term human colonization beyond Earth, alleviating the strain on Earth's resources and potentially opening up new habitable environments. Rare earth minerals. Space mining can provide access to rare earth minerals, such as platinum and palladium, which are crucial for various technologies, including renewable energy systems and electric vehicles. Challenges associated with utilizing space resources. Technological limitations. For example, mining asteroids or extracting water from the Moon's surface require advanced mining and extraction techniques. Infrastructure development. Building mining facilities, processing plants, and transportation systems in space poses unique engineering and logistical challenges. Cost and funding. It requires significant investment and funding from public and private sources. Securing financing for such ventures can be challenging due to their long-term nature and uncertain returns. Legal and regulatory frameworks. Issues such as property rights, ownership, and liability need to be addressed to avoid conflicts and ensure fair distribution of resources. For example, the 1967 Outer Space Treaty prohibits any national appropriation of celestial bodies, but it does not explicitly address resource extraction. Space debris. The increase in space activities can contribute to the accumulation of space debris, which poses a threat to both operational spacecraft and future resource utilization efforts. Transportation challenges. Transporting extracted resources from space back to Earth or to other destinations is a significant challenge. Human factors. Long-duration space missions and exposure to harsh environments present physical and psychological challenges for human beings involved. Political considerations. Space resource utilization can become a geopolitical issue, with nations competing for access to and control over valuable resources. Addressing these challenges requires collaboration among governments, space agencies, private companies, and the scientific community to develop innovative solutions and establish a sustainable framework for space resource utilization. Q226. Discuss the multidimensional impacts of the global distribution of lithium, considering economic, environmental, and geopolitical factors. 15 marks, 250 words. Core demand of question mention about the global distribution of major lithium-producing countries mention about the impacts of its global distribution considering economic factors mention about the impacts of its global distribution considering environmental factors mention about the impacts of its global distribution considering geopolitical factors ANS. Lithium is soft, silvery white alkali metal found in trace amounts in the Earth's crust. It is a valuable resource used primarily as a component in rechargeable lithium-ion batteries for electronics, electric vehicles, and renewable energy storage. Global distribution of major lithium-producing countries Australia. It is home to the Greenbushes lithium mine, which is the world's largest hard rock lithium mine and a major contributor to global lithium supply. Chile. The country's Salar de Atacama is one of the most prominent lithium-rich salt flats globally, hosting several lithium extraction operations. China. China is a major producer of lithium, primarily through its operations in Tibet and Qinghai provinces. Argentina. Argentina is home to the vast lithium reserves in the Lithium Triangle region, shared with Bolivia and Chile with projects like the Salar del Hombre Muerto. United States. Lithium reserves primarily located in Nevada and North Carolina. The Silver Peak lithium mine in Nevada has been a long-standing source of lithium production in the country. Impacts of its global distribution considering economic factors regional development. Lithium mining in regions like the Lithium Triangle in South America has spurred economic growth, job creation, and the development of local industries. Economic growth and investment opportunities. Australia has become a major lithium producer and exporter, which has contributed to its economic growth and attracted significant foreign investment. Exploitation of vulnerable sections. The demand for lithium has led to concerns about child labor and poor working conditions in some mining operations. Economic dependence and resource concentration. Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina collectively hold the majority of global lithium reserves. If these countries were to restrict or control their lithium exports, it could significantly impact the global supply chain. Impacts of its global distribution considering environmental factors, ecological considerations. Lithium mining requires significant amounts of water, and in regions with limited water resources, such as the Atacama Desert in Chile, it can strain local ecosystems and communities. Environmental degradation. For instance, in Bolivia's Salar de Uyuni, one of the world's largest lithium reserves, mining activities have resulted in soil contamination, threatening local ecosystems. Carbon emissions. To exemplify, in Australia, a major lithium producer, the energy-intensive conversion of spodumene concentrate into battery-grade lithium compounds leads to substantial carbon dioxide emissions. Sustainable alternatives. The reliance on lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles and renewable energy storage has raised concerns about the long-term availability and environmental impacts of lithium. Impacts of its global distribution considering geopolitical factors, resource nationalism, and domestic policies. To illustrate, Argentina has implemented export quotas and imposed regulations to ensure a certain percentage of lithium production is processed within the country. Geopolitical competition for lithium resources. To exemplify, China has invested heavily in lithium mining projects in countries such as Australia and Chile, ensuring a steady supply for its rapidly growing electric vehicle industry. Some other countries, too, can join this competition of investing in these countries. Geopolitical influence. As China is the world's second largest producer and largest consumer of lithium, it exerts geopolitical influence and potentially control the global lithium market. Strategic dominance. For instance, countries like Chile, Australia, and Argentina, which possess abundant lithium reserves, have gained strategic leverage as global demand for lithium-ion batteries rises. Overall, the global distribution of lithium-producing countries influences economic, geopolitical, technological, environmental, and social aspects, necessitating careful management and collaboration to maximize the benefits while mitigating the challenges associated with lithium extraction and its global distribution. Q227. Explore the concept of innovation clusters and their function in nurturing canary activities within specific geographical regions. 10 marks, 150 words. Core demand of question discuss some key aspects of innovation clusters along with suitable examples. Provide the functioning of innovation clusters in nurturing canary activities within specific geographical regions of India. ANS. Innovation clusters serve as geographic hubs where interconnected entities collaborate to cultivate innovation and economic growth, fostering a cooperative ecosystem that sparks novel ideas and technologies through synergistic interactions, as evident in renowned examples like Silicon Valley and Biocon Park. Simultaneously, Canary activities encompassing research, education, healthcare, culture, and government leverage specialized knowledge and creativity, driving innovation and contributing significantly to societal advancement. Key aspects of innovation clusters. Interdisciplinary interaction. These clusters thrive on the cross-pollination of ideas, resources, and skills among interconnected participants, generating an environment conducive to pioneering breakthroughs, products, and technologies, as demonstrated by Delhi NCR FinTech Hub. Emergence of expertise hubs. Innovation clusters serve as hubs for specialized knowledge and skill development, attracting experts in various fields, exemplified by Gujarat Biotech Cluster. Catalyst for growth. Innovation clusters foster an atmosphere of creativity and learning, motivating participants to push boundaries and explore new avenues for development, leading to sustained growth and advancement, as illustrated by Ahmedabad's textile and design cluster. Economic impetus. These clusters attract investments, stimulate entrepreneurship, and generate job opportunities. They become magnets for startups and enterprises seeking to leverage the cluster's ecosystem for their growth, as demonstrated by Jaipur's handicraft cluster. Societal transformation. Innovation clusters transcend commercial impact, influencing societal progress through advancements in sectors such as education, healthcare, and public services, thereby contributing to overall societal transformation, as exemplified by the development of Kochi's tourism cluster. Talent pool. Clusters attract a skilled workforce due to the presence of cutting-edge research, job opportunities, and a collaborative environment. The availability of talent further fuels innovation. For example, Silicon Valley attracting skilled workforce across the world. Functioning of innovative clusters in nurturing Canary activities. Research collaboration. Innovation clusters facilitate collaborative research initiatives among universities, research institutions, and industries. For example, an immigration officer harboring prejudice against certain nationalities. For example, the Bengaluru Innovation Cluster for Education and Research, BICER, promotes collaboration between academic institutions and industries, enhancing research in education and technology. Healthcare innovation. Clusters centered around medical research and healthcare technology attract skilled professionals and encourage advancements in medical practices. For example, an immigration officer harboring prejudice against certain nationalities. For example, the Hyderabad Health Innovation Cluster, HHIC, brings together hospitals, research centers, and biotech companies to drive healthcare innovations. Cultural exchange. Innovation clusters focused on cultural and creative industries encourage artistic collaboration and exchange. For example, an immigration officer harboring prejudice against certain nationalities. For example, the Jaipur Craft Innovation Cluster supports traditional artisans, designers, and creative professionals, preserving cultural heritage while fostering innovation. Government-industry interface. Clusters where government agencies collaborate with industries foster policy innovations and effective governance solutions. For example, the Delhi NCR Smart City Innovation Cluster aims to improve urban governance through technology and innovation. Education ecosystem. Clusters that combine educational institutions, edtech companies, and research centers contribute to educational innovation. For example, the Pune Education Innovation Cluster, PEIC, promotes collaboration in education research, curriculum development, and teacher training. Public health initiatives. Innovation clusters focusing on public health bring together researchers, healthcare providers, and policymakers to address health challenges. For example, the Mumbai Public Health Innovation Cluster works on strategies to tackle urban health issues through innovative approaches. Sustainability and environment. Clusters concentrating on environmental research and sustainable technologies drive innovations in eco-friendly practices. For example, the Chennai Environmental Innovation Cluster promotes research and solutions for cleaner energy, waste management, and water conservation. Civic tech initiatives. Clusters centered around civic technology facilitate collaboration between tech companies and government bodies for enhanced public service delivery. For example, The Gandhinagar Civic Tech Innovation Cluster aims to create digital solutions for urban governance challenges. In conclusion, innovation clusters are dynamic engines of progress, nurturing collaborative ecosystems that spur creativity, innovation, and economic growth. By embracing innovation clusters, India is poised to create a synergy between canary activities and cutting-edge advancements, ensuring a promising tomorrow of cross-disciplinary collaboration and transformative change. Q228. Compare and contrast the strategies used in developed and developing countries for soil erosion control. Enumerate the lessons India could acquire from it. 15 marks, 250 words. Core demand of question provide the similarities between the strategies of developed and developing nations to combat soil erosion. Differentiate between the strategies of developed and developing countries to control soil erosion. Provide the learnings for India from the best practices of other nations. ANS. Soil erosion is the natural process of soil movement from one location to another due to the action of various factors such as water, wind, or human activities. It has become a growing environmental concern globally because of increasing population, urbanization, and agricultural expansion. Hence, both developed and developing countries are trying to check soil erosion through different techniques. Similarities between the strategies of developed and developing countries. Vegetative measures. Implemented in both developed and developing countries, such as grass buffers in the USA along water bodies and contour plowing in India on hilly terrains to prevent soil erosion. Mulching. Organic mulching is employed in both developed and developing nations for erosion control. In Germany, grapevine prunings serve as mulch, while Kenyan farmers use maize stover. Terracing. Terracing is common in developed and developing countries to create level fields on steep terrain. Switzerland builds stone terraces in the Alps, while China uses terraces in regions like Yunnan and Sichuan. Reduce/no tillage farming. Adopted by both developed, e.g. Canada, and developing, e.g. Brazil, countries for soil erosion control in areas like the Cerrado, where no-till techniques are employed for soybean cultivation to preserve soil structure and enhance soil health, reducing erosion risks. Erosion control structures. Both developed and developing countries construct erosion control structures. The Netherlands employs dikes and storm surge barriers in the delta works, while Bangladesh builds embankments and levees along rivers and coastlines. Difference between the strategies of developed and developing countries. Soil erosion control strategies. Developing countries, terraces, precision-engineered terraces with advanced drainage systems. For example, contour farming and terracing in the United States. Simpler terraces using local materials and traditional knowledge. For example, stone terraces in sub-Saharan Africa. Soil erosion control strategies. Developing countries, check dams, large-scale check dams with advanced engineering. For example, check dams by the UK's Environment Agency. Smaller, community-built check dams. For example, Johads in India. Retaining walls, engineered retaining walls with durable materials. Japan. For example, concrete retaining walls and locally built retaining walls with available materials. For example, bamboo and coconut frond walls in the Philippines. Conservation tillage. Advanced conservation tillage techniques like no-till and reduced tillage. For example, conservation tillage in Canada. Basic conservation tillage like reduced plowing and mulching. In Brazil, for example, reduced tillage and cover crops, cover cropping, diverse cover cropping systems with various plant species. For example, cover crops in the U.S. like winter rye and clover. Simple cover cropping with leguminous crops. For example, legume cover crops in Ethiopia. Agroforestry. Well-designed agroforestry systems integrating trees with crops. For example, alley cropping in Sweden. Traditional agroforestry with intercropping. For example, intercropping with nitrogen, fixing trees in Kenya. Community-based approaches. Collaboration between farmers, local governments, and environmental organizations, as exemplified by soil conservation efforts in the Netherlands. Grassroots-driven initiatives with local communities taking the lead. For example, NGOs working with local communities in Bangladesh for awareness and training. Lessons for India. Buffer strips implementation. Developed countries use buffer strips along water bodies to prevent sediment runoff and filter pollutants. For example, the Netherlands employs buffer zones to protect water quality. India can adopt this strategy to combat soil erosion and preserve water resources. Terracing on sloping lands. Developed nations like Switzerland and Japan effectively use terracing techniques to control soil erosion in hilly areas. Terraces reduce slope length and slow down water flow, minimizing soil movement. India can promote terracing and contour farming in erosion-prone regions like the Himalayas and Western Ghats. Integration of soil conservation into policies. Developed countries integrate soil conservation into environmental and agricultural policies. For example, the EU's Common Agricultural Policy, CAP, promotes sustainable land management. India can adopt a holistic approach by integrating soil conservation goals into national policies for agriculture and the environment. Incentives for sustainable practices. Emulate developed countries' approach by offering financial incentives to farmers adopting soil conservation practices, such as cost-share programs like EQIP in the United States. Encouraging Indian farmers with similar incentives will promote the adoption of sustainable erosion control measures. Eco-friendly erosion control mats. India can implement biodegradable mats on slopes and riverbanks for soil stabilization and vegetation growth, following successful examples in developed countries like the USA and Europe. Integration into policies. Developed countries integrate soil conservation into environmental and agricultural policies, which can be a crucial learning for Indian policymakers. Both developed and developing countries employ various strategies for soil erosion control, reflecting their unique environmental and socioeconomic contexts. By adopting and customizing these strategies, India can formulate a comprehensive soil conservation policy that addresses its specific challenges and contributes to sustainable agricultural practices and environmental protection. Q229. Examine the effect of globalization on the locations of industries in the primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. How has the distribution of economic activities been impacted by the integration of markets and the emergence of global supply chains? 15 marks, 250 words. Core demand of question mention how globalization is affecting the locations of industries in the primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. Mention how distribution of economic activities is impacted by the integration of markets and global supply chains. ANS. The location of industries refers to the geographical distribution of industrial units, typically influenced by factors like availability of resources, labor, capital, market access, and government policy. Globalization, through the interconnectedness of economies, reshapes the industrial landscape, allowing industries to locate where operational costs are minimal. Effect of globalization on the locations of industries. Primary sector decentralization. Agricultural businesses in India have been traditionally located near farming regions. With globalization and advancements in transport and communication, these businesses can now be dispersed more widely. Expansion. Global demand for natural resources pushing extractive industries into regions previously considered uneconomical or inaccessible. For example, oil industries have expanded operations in remote parts of the world, such as the Arctic, driven by high global demand. Secondary sector relocation. It enabled these industries to relocate to regions offering cheap labor and less stringent environmental norms. Many textile factories from developed nations have relocated to developing countries like India, Bangladesh, and Vietnam, leveraging their low-cost labor. Industrial clusters. Many secondary industries have formed clusters in specific regions. Silicon Valley in the US and the Electronic City in Bangalore are classic examples where tech, manufacturing, and IT companies have concentrated due to a conducive ecosystem. Tertiary sector service offshoring. Services can now be offshored to countries with a cheaper yet skilled workforce. India, with its large English-speaking population, has become a global hub for IT services and call centers for companies like Amazon and Microsoft. International financial hubs. It has led to the development of international financial hubs that provide a range of tertiary services. Cities such as London, New York, and Singapore host numerous multinational corporations and offer a fertile ground for fintech startups. Ways in which the distribution of economic activities has been impacted by integration of markets. Increased competition. Market integration fosters increased competition. For example, the entry of international fast food chains like McDonald's and KFC into the Indian market compelled local restaurants to enhance their offerings and service quality. Diversification of products. It leads to a wider array of products and services, allowing consumers to choose from different brands. For instance, Indian customers today can buy iPhones or IKEA furniture, products that were previously unavailable in the local market. Increased interdependence. Market integration leads to increased economic interdependence. A downturn in one country can affect economies globally, as evidenced by the 2008 financial crisis, which began in the USA but quickly spread worldwide. Emergence of global supply chains, GVCs, geographical dispersion of production. The advent of global supply chains has decentralized production processes. For example, Apple designs its products in the USA, sources its parts from various global suppliers, and assembles many products in China. Focus on core competencies. Companies can now focus on their core competencies and outsource other tasks. For example, Indian IT companies like Infosys and TCS, for instance, provide software services to numerous global firms, allowing these firms to focus on their primary businesses. Risk of disruptions. As GVCs also carry a risk of disruptions. COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the vulnerability of these supply chains, as lockdowns and transport restrictions affected industries from automobiles to electronics due to delays in component supply. Overall, globalization has led to a reshuffling of industries across the globe. Also, the integration of markets and emergence of GVCs have deeply impacted the global distribution of economic activities. Going ahead, it is likely to continue in the future, as businesses continue to seek out the most efficient and cost-effective locations for their operations.